Stalker 2 armor tier list for veteran mode. Let's just jump right into it. So let's start with the Arrow protection gas mask. You can get this pretty early in Wild Island. There's a door code key. The stats on it are pretty decent. Most armor sets, especially like helmets, will have like a few upgrades to improve specific stats. Generally the bases are a good indicator of like where something's at. So this has a physical of 2.6, which is quite good, and it has a psi protection of 0.7. The fact you can get it early and for free is decent. I would say this is a solid B tier helmet if you want to run like a suit with a helmet. So one note about suits versus helmets, like full body versus the split. What it does, like the way damage is calculated, is if your head gets hit, the armor value for the helmet or the full suit overall is what armor value is used. So if you have a helmet that has really high physical protection, but then a suit with very low physical protection, if you get hit in the body, you're going to take more damage. You're going to have less damage reduction. So that's essentially the main thing you need to know. Also, the body suits cannot have psi protection because they do not protect your head, as the psi effects are mental. So generally, if you're running not a full suit, the psi protection will be in the helmet. So in this case, this has a little bit of psi protection of 0.7, which is decent, considering you can get this pretty early on, and you are sent to Wild Island anyways as part of the main quest pretty early on as well. So I would say it's a pretty good like middle game. You could run this in end game and probably be fine as well. The Aurora gas mask. This is one you get pretty early on. It's decent. Its stats are okay. You get it in like near Zelisa, actually. I think in like the second main quest. Its base stats are respectable though. You still get a little bit of psi protection at 0.5, and then you get a physical of 1.1, but obviously long term it's going to be outclassed. It immediately gets outclassed as soon as you get into the garbage region by masks like the Arrow, so you might as well just use it until something better comes along. So it's good filler though. For early game, it's totally serviceable. It'll help you. It's good to use. It's pretty easy to get. There's several free locations for it. The Optician gas mask is awarded from a needle in the haystack. Depending on either choice, you will still get it. The base stats on it are actually pretty decent. Physical of 2.1, psi of 0.25, and thermal, electrical, chemical at 0.8, with chemical being at 1.1. Those are just its bases. But 2.1 physical early on is decent, and is, I would say, decent armor. So I'm going to put this in low B tier. As we fill out B tier, it should be further and further, down the list, but it's still pretty serviceable. It's pretty good for an early thing. For the ballistic helmet, this one, as far as I know, you can only buy it unless they added a new placed spawn for it. The stats on it are decent though. 2.5 physical, 0.6 psi. For the thermal, electrical, chemical, it's like 0.6. Now this isn't terrible, but considering that you have to buy it, and you have to buy it at Malachite for 24k as well, it's not really that much better than the Optician gas mask, which you get for free. So I'm gonna put it in D tier because you have to buy it. It's expensive, and it's in an end game area that you have to go to, and it's also only marginally better than something that's free. And also the Arrow is free as well, so it's actually the same physical defense at base as the Arrow, so it's worse than a free option that's closer to where you enter the middle game region. So I think it's just, for those reasons, it's just not worth it. For the, let's do the mask one, because we have that open. For the mask one, this one is actually quite good. It has a psi protection of 1.6, physical of 3.65. I'm sure it has upgrades that improve its defense stat as well, because most things tend to. So in order to get the mask one, you have to choose the S.T.A.L.K.E.R faction during one of the main quests, and it is on quest 14 out of 34. So arguably still kind of early game, still kind of almost middle game, which is good. So it has really good availability. Its stats are really strong. I'm gonna honestly put this in S tier, because if you're running a suit with this is endgame armor for sure. You do have to choose a specific story, like you have to go with S.T.A.L.K.E.R in order to get this, but you can get it so early and for free that I would say this is like low S tier. For the PA-10 gas mask, there are a few locations where it's free, and they are in the plant area and garbage, so that's very early on. The stats on it though are pretty similar to the Optician gas mask, and maybe slightly better. I'll put it like next to it. This is free. This has similar stats. This gets you a little bit of psi protection. You do have to go out of your way to get this, but it's not hard to get. I would say it's just good. It has decent bases. It'll get you through the game if you want to run it. Obviously, there's better options, especially if you choose to get the mask 1, but it's definitely serviceable. The PA7 gas mask. So this one, you can get for free in chemical plants. You can also buy it in malachite. The base stats on it are a little bit better than the Optician and the PA10. I would say it's competitive with the Arrow for the most part. These are like good filler, like middle game. These fillers, I guess to explain like what filler means, you use this until you get something better. You could use these until you get something better. So this is like higher tier filler until you get like the better masks, assuming you want to run like body armor with a mask. But it does have good stats. It is easy to get. It's very available. You can just go get it for free. So that's always nice. The PG4 face hugger. This is also free. You can get this in STALKER actually, so that's nice. The bases are actually pretty similar to Optician, funny enough, so I'd say it's like around this level of quality. 0.3 psi, 2.1 physical base. It does have good thermal, electrical, and chemical. So just like high tier filler. We'll also say high tier filler. Alright, so you can run this until you get something better, but it's definitely notably better than the C tier filler. The S.T.A.L.K.E.R M20. So this is also a pretty serious suit, or a pretty serious mask that has good stats. So complete the side mission, Just Business, talk to Barkeep and Rostock. So the S.T.A.L.K.E.R has really good availability because you can just take this quest from the dude in Rostock and then just kill some bandits and just go through and do some basic things and then you get it. So that aspect of it is nice. The stats on the S.T.A.L.K.E.R, 1.7 psi, 3 physical, and then 0.7, 0.9, 0.9 thermal, electrical, chemical, and a radiation of 0.6. This is pretty good armor. It is objectively worse than the mask one, but I do think it's like A tier. 3 physical is good, but you have to consider that like endgame armor suits provide like 4 to 5. So like I can't put it in S tier unless it has much better bases, but it is still really solid. It's definitely better than the B tiers for sure. And you can get it early as well, so pretty huge advantage to that. For the tactical helmet, there is one for free in the underpass near Rostock, and it does have good stats. It has pretty similar stats to the S.T.A.L.K.E.R. I would say it's like right up there alongside it. 3 physical, 1.3 psi. It does have worse thermal, electrical, and chemical bases, and I think the radiation is about the same. But 3 physical and 1.3 psi for early game armor you can grab right away is just pretty solid. The body armor. Bandit jacket has pretty low stats, and it's basically similar to the debut suit, which you get almost immediately. So I think it's just straight up bad. It has like thermal, electrical, chemical of 0.3, physical of 1.1. You can get it early, but why bother? You just get better armor pretty shortly after. The armored bandit jacket actually has okay radiation protection of 1.1 and physical of 1.1, so it's like low C tier filler. You can get it early as well. The debut suits you basically get for free in the mainline mission. So I think it's just like good filler. I think your first armor set is typically going to be like Aurora helmet with debut suit. So it's not bad. Defensive stat of 1.1, radiation of 0.5. It's something. It's just something to protect you until you get better armor. The leather jacket, it's also the default suit. It is a little bit worse than the debut. So just throw it down here. You can buy it, but there's really no reason to. It's just filler. You use it until you get something better. It also kind of outclasses the bandit, the base bandit suit. All right, marauder suit. So this has artifact slot 1, physical of 1.9, and in order to get it for free, you have to go to Zeton in an area that's pretty out of the way. So because it's so far away, like if I'm going to Zeton, I can guarantee you there's something better there for free. So the stats on this thing, 1.9 base physical armor, 1.6 radiation. Because it's like so far into Zeton, I don't really think it's worth it. I actually think it's bad for that reason. Now, in terms of like raw stats, obviously it's better than these, but you get this for free and you get this from the main quest. Whereas with this, you have to go out of your way in like a middle game to semi-end game area to, you know, grab it when there's significantly better things in that region, I'm sure. And I'm sure we'll run into them as we go through this. Mercenary suit, pretty high early game armor, basically 2.1 physical, 1.6 radiation, base artifact slots of 1. It's actually in Cordon, so I would say this is like high C tier. This is really out of your way. Cordon it does have like Rookie Village and some stuff you can go to right away and just kind of goof off, but this is decent for that reason. The Zeton thing is a kind of a stretch, but its stats are decent. The Osk Explorer suit, 2 artifact slots, physical defense of 1.6, radiation of 0.5. We're starting to get into like the more artifact slot armor. Now, this can be found in chemical plants, which if you're in chemical plants, you basically can go to Malachite. Like you're in an area of the game where you have access to pretty much everything. This is good, I would say, to sell. We'll put bad/sell. Because some of these things, like maybe you still want to grab the Marauder suit just to sell it. Because by the time you get to it or make your way out to it, you're going to have better options or better gear. Because by virtue of going to certain regions, there are just suits laying on the ground you can grab that are just better. So I think Osk is like, or Osk Explorer is similar, where you just want to grab it to sell it. 2 artifact slots, but 1.6. It's, once we get to some of these other suits, you're going to see why I'm rating these so low. But it doesn't really do too much. The PSZ-20W Convoy. This one actually isn't bad. In order to get it, so you have to get inside of Icarus. Icarus is the base, I'm thinking of something else. Icarus is like the base you have to gain access to. Yeah, they have to let you into it, so you can't get this until later. So that kind of gatekeeps it, but its physical defense of 2.5 is good, its radiation of 2.1 is good. If you want to use this as like middle game filler, I would say it's decent. It's pretty easy to get, assuming that you get into Icarus, which you do have to for the main quest. The PSZ-5D Universal Protection. So this one has pretty decent stats, similar to the Convoy. 2.3 physical, 1.5 radiation, 3 artifact slots though. And typically most armor can get 1 to 2, sometimes 3 more artifact containers. So probably at least like 4 to 5 artifact containers with upgrades. Now you can buy this at Cement Factory, and you can also find it at the Ranger Station in Zeton. So it's funny that the one thing is for free in Zeton, because here's something that is better in Zeton. I would say this is low B tier. 3 artifact containers is decent. You can find it in a relatively chill thing that's not that difficult to get to. PSZ-5, I think it's an I Hawk. Looks like 51, but I think it's 5I. So this has 2 artifact slots, 2.3 physical, 2.1 radiation, overall decent stats. This is obtainable very early. So you can go from Lesser Zone to Zeton, and it's like as soon as you enter Zeton, you can grab this. So this is basically just like a better version of the Marauder. I think that's the one that you get in Zeton. So you can get it immediately and upon entering. It has 2 artifact slots. I'm sure it can be upgraded. It is Spark armor, so it looks kind of cool. So if you like the blue, it's kind of nice. I would say it's like low B tier because you can get it super early, and it's just good. Like it takes almost nothing to get it. The PSZ-5 Guardian Wingsuit of Freedom. 2 artifact slots at base, 2.2 physical, 2.1 radiation. These are good stats for early game. So this, you can buy it at STC Malachite. You can also find one for free in Garbage. So that's also decent. So this is, I would say this is pretty up there. Like this is high tier filler. These are pretty similar stats. This one having 3 artifact slots, these having 2 at base. These are pretty good armors for like early to middle game to even end game if you want to just upgrade them. The PSZ-7 military body armor. So this has no artifact slots, physical of 2.1, radiation of 2.5. You can buy it from Birch. You can also find it inside the barracks at military checkpoint in Cordon region. So that's not bad. Now I do believe that this has an ambush spawn. So if you go to the military checkpoint and clear out like the 3 to 5 guards that are there. You go inside the barracks, then pick this up, and then all of a sudden like 10 more spawn. So just be aware that that's going to be a thing that happens. But this is, it has no artifact slots. But if you're going to Cordon early, I would say this is like decent filler. It's like, obviously it's better than these stats wise, but these are just like handed to you and accessible. This you have to go out of your way, and you can get most of these before you would reasonably want to get this. And these just have artifact slots and pretty similar stats. So I would say it's like, it's okay filler if you get it early, if you go to Cordon early. But beyond that, I wouldn't run it. The Sunrise suit, I've heard a lot of people talking about the Sunrise and then the Tourist suit, which is coming up. The Sunrise suit, artifact slots of 2 base, 2.1 physical, 1.5 radiation. You can buy it from Birch. You can also find it for free in Zaton. So yet another thing in Zaton. Zaton has tons of free things in there. So, and like there are other better things in there, very likely. And we'll go over those once we get to them. But I would say it's like high B tier. Or I'm sorry, low B tier filler. So it's like, all right, let me move. Actually, let's do this. Move these down. There we go. Like mid-tier filler. They're good if you get them early. They're worse if you get them later. Like if you head to Zaton early and grab them, they're good. They're good filler. You can upgrade them. You can run them for a bit. But you will have access to better things for free later. So that's why they're not like A tier, S tier, or anything like that. The Tourist suit. So this is, I believe this is the DLC, right? Yeah, this is the DLC pre-order bonus. You can get this super early. It's in garbage. It's textbook definition of like good filler. These are all pretty similar. The stats on it, 2 base artifact slots, 2.1 physical, 1.6 radiation, below 1 for all of the elemental protections. So these are all like roughly the same in terms of quality and in terms of availability, which is good. So you can really pick whichever one you like the most. And you can beat the game with these. Like it's not, the game is not so hard. You could probably beat the game without armor, honestly. Maybe even just like a helmet for like the side protection. You'd probably do okay. The Wing of Freedom suit. So 2 artifact slots, 1.2 physical, 1.1 radiation. So lower stats than a lot of these mid B tiers. So in order to get it, southwest of Rostock. This is in the larger garbage region. I would say sell it. 1.2 physical is very similar to debut suit, which is 1.1. It just has more radiation protection, but it doesn't have like a future. It does have 2 artifact slots, but if you're in the garbage region, you have access to pretty much some of the craziest armor in the game. So unfortunately, all of that armor eclipses this armor, and if you have to go out of your way for this, you might as well know where it is and grab it to sell it, but there's better things in garbage even that you can just get for free. So it's just not competitive with those at all. All right, the X7 suit. Objectively, the X7 suit is S tier, so I'll just put it in S tier for its stats, but you only get it in point of no return. So it has 4 radiation, 4 physical, 2.3 in thermal, electrical, and chemical at base, but you only get it in endgame, and there is no new game plus, and as far as I know, there is no other way to get this in the game. So unfortunately, it's endgame only. It's really cool. It looks really cool. It's really high stats. It's basically the best like headless piece of armor in the game, but you can't get it until you're about to finish the game. The Zircon suit. This has 2.4 physical, 2.1 radiation. You can get it, you can purchase it from Quiet. You can also find one in the mine shaft northeast of the Pontoon Depot in Wild Island region. So Wild Island is actually not too far into the game. Honestly, like you can get there early. It's part of the main quest. It's part of the main quest early. So I would say this is like up here with these. For artifact slots, it has 3 at base, so it's like high B tier. So this is probably like these are basically your best suits if you're going to run a helmet. But honestly, I think with the way the game is right now, it doesn't really make sense to run a helmet. Like helmet plus armor, because these options, like you'll see the stats on some of these are just ridiculous. So we'll get into it. Next up, we have the recently buffed Science Suite. So the SSP 99 all the way up to the DLC, which is the Circus suit. So essentially what the one update did, 1.3, is it buffed all of the science suits so that they have more thermal, electrical, and chemical protection while largely retaining their physical defense. And the other, like, more combat-oriented armors retained higher physical defense and similar radiation, but then they lost thermal, electrical, and chemical base. Woo! So the SSP-99 Ecologist, you can get it very early on from several different locations. One of them is through the main quest. It has pretty good bases overall, and it is good starter armor. Its physical is 1.1, which is respectable. It has psi of 1.3, and since the update, its thermal, electrical, and chemical were buffed all to above 2, I believe. So it's pretty good. It's like high B tier. It also has 2 artifact slots, so you basically don't upgrade this and you just run this until you get something better, but it's really good filler that the game literally hands you because it's in several locations, one of them being during a main quest early on. So it's quite good. I would say it's like one of the better early like filler armors. The Siva D suit. This is one of my favorite ones because you get it from a really cool thing. You can get it in garbage for free. To upgrade it, I guess you can upgrade it at Cement Factory or Raw Stock. That doesn't really matter though, but its bases are quite good. 2.5 physical, psi of 1.55, chemical, thermal, electrical, all above 2 as of the patch. Radiation is also quite high. This one you can run full time. It also has artifact slot 3. I'm gonna put this in low A tier. Some people just grab this and just run this throughout their entire playthrough, and that's totally legitimate because it actually has enough stats to protect you, and it has enough artifact slots, especially with upgrades, to even run like full builds and stuff. So pretty good suit. The Wanderer suit, this is the DLC. Very similar stats to the Siva D. You do have to activate the journalist stash in the swamp, so it's free, but it's actually past like a specific quest, so you can't just get it whenever you feel like it. You have to get so far into the main quest, but pretty similar stats. If you want to run this as an alternative, I would say it's also A tier. The Siva V suit, this can be obtained, I think, near Rostock, right? Yeah, this is like right near Rostock. You have to climb up a ladder. It has similar stats to the other Siva suits. A little bit worse physical defense. The psi of 1.1 is decent. Radiation of 3.4 is quite good. I would say this is also low A tier. It's also endgame ready. Oh yeah, 4 artifact slots as well. You could argue that's better. It's also an early, suit. Yeah, I guess that is better. We'll give it that. It has worse defense, but it has more artifact slots. So we renamed the tiers. So A tier is great or high tier filler. B is good or good tier filler. And then C is just okay / like lower tier filler. The base Siva suit has 3 artifact slots, 2.1 physical, 1.5 psi, 3 radiation, and then good thermal, electrical, chemical stats. I can't remember where you get this. I think it's from a main quest, but definitely drop a comment as to where you get this. I'm gonna put this in high B tier. I'm pretty sure it's quest locked or difficult to get because it's not clear where you find it. It's also a little bit worse than these, so let's move on to the Siva I. Now the nice thing about the Siva I is that it comes with a pre-installed upgrade if you grab the free one there's actually 2 free ones, in the Yantar. So Yantar Production Complex, you do have to kind of go out of your way to get it, but it has a base defensive stat because it has an upgrade pre-installed of 3. It also has really good thermal, electrical, chemical, and has 4 artifact slots at base. Really good psi protection of 2.1, and also really good radiation. I think this is actually like high A tier, possibly low S if you want to run it. But it's getting up there where it's like immediately competitive. It has a pre-installed upgrade at the Yantar region location. There's also a second spawn of it that is the depot, Arms Depot in Duga, but that's very far into the main quest line. So you might as well know where that is to sell it. But interestingly, you have to like turn on a generator and then hit a button and then get inside a thing. So you can potentially collect 2 of these, run one, sell the other, or sell both for big money. But pretty good armor. All right, so the SSP-100 Discovery. So you can find one for free in Jupiter, which means that it's now competing with exosuits, because if we're doing early Pripyat jump, there's just literally all the exosuits in the game in Pripyat for free. So in terms of competing with those, I just don't think it has it. In terms of raw stats, though, it is quite good. They buffed it quite a bit, so its thermal, electrical, and chemical are around 3, at base. Its radiation is always good. Its physical can be upgraded to be around like 3.4. The psi protection is quite high as well. So it is good armor. I'll put it in like low A tier because you have to buy it or do an early Pripyat jump to get it. And I think you buy it in Malachite. Yeah, you can buy it in Malachite. You can also buy it in the Red Forest from some dude. So it's good armor though. Like, it's definitely good armor when upgraded, though obviously early exosuits are better. The SSP-100I Survey. So this one, as far as I know, is only sold from Victoria and Malachite, and it can get pretty crazy stats, but you do have to buy it for a minimum of 42,500 coupons, which is very expensive. For that reason, like, all of these are free. Like, even this is free if you do a Pripyat jump. The fact that you have to buy it, it does have good stats. I'll put it in the low A tier. This can be gotten for free, this cannot. So you have to buy it, but it can get above, I think, 4 physical and has really good, like, defensive stats and everything but psi. So it has really good bulk for, like, a more, you know, anomaly-oriented suit. It's still good. It's just that it's not free. You have to buy it. If it was free, if there's a free one somewhere, that'd be better. But because you have to buy it, obviously it's not as good. The Circa, so this is a DLC one that you get for free. And it does have good stats. It does have good upgrades. It notably does not have psi protection unless that was affected, that was changed. For base artifact slots, it has 3. It is DLC, it is free though. I would say it's like around here. You have to get it in a kind of endgame region. These are like very central, you don't have to go too far. This one you could argue you kind of do, but it has better physical defense than this while having similar thermal, chemical, electrical, and psi protection, whereas the Circa at base does not. And that does matter for endgame because, like, you know, you're fighting controllers and there's psi effects and stuff like that. It is nice to have at least a psi protection of 1 to 2, but it is, like, definitely still good, so I'll put an A tier. For the next set of armor, we have our combat armor that recently was nerfed in terms of thermal, chemical, and electrical, so that it is not as competitive with the, like, SIVA suits and the science suits and things like this. So it still maintains good radiation protection, good physical, but then it has, like, worse thermal, chemical, and electrical. So the PSZ-9N Wolfhound, this is a decent suit. However, you can only buy it, as far as I know. You can buy it from Birch, and you can buy it in Pripyat. And if you're gonna buy this armor in Pripyat, you're insane, because the Pripyat region has just, like, several exosuits that are, like, way higher stats than this for free. So the fact that it needs to be bought hurts it. It has 3 artifact slots, 3 physical, 2.1 radiation, and then below 1 in all thermal, chemical, and electrical. So it's not really competitive with anything. I would just say it's one of the worst in the game because you have to buy it, and it's only available in areas where there are better things for free. Like, even in middle game, this would not be considered good armor because you have to buy it, and it's not cheap either. So, like, unless you're doing some kind of, like, Iron Man run where you're not allowed to die at all, it costs you 42,000 to buy this, so it's just not worth it. You can't even sell it because you'd have to buy it first, so you can't even get one for free. The PSZ-91 Falcon. This, however, I would say is our first, like, S tier. This can be upgraded to have, I think, above 4 physical. It has 3 base artifact slots. It can definitely hit 5. It has 2.1 base psi, 2.5 radiation. They've recently nerfed its thermal, chemical, and electrical to be around 1. Some are, like, above or below a little bit at base. So it's not really that much worse than it was, but it has the high defense. It's free. You get it in Malachite from doing a series of jumps. Pretty easy to get early. This is, like, straight up endgame armor that you can get as soon as you get into the garbage region. Just head over to Malachite, pick it up. It'll save you, you know, a lot of hardship if you're, like, struggling on veteran mode. It just has really good stats, good artifact slots, pretty accessible upgrades. You can get it to 5 artifact slots, few lead containers. Just really good armor overall. The Corundum suit. So you do get this, like, around halfway through the game for free, and it does have pretty good stats. It has decent radiation protection, okay psi, but most importantly, it has really high physical protection, as well as 3 artifact slots. So as you go through the main quest, it's around, like, halfway through, maybe a little bit before, But it's pretty good stats overall. I would say this is low S tier. I would put it higher S tier if you could get it earlier, but the fact that you can get it halfway through the game is still decent and respectable, so I do think it deserves a spot in S. The PSZ-90 Duty Armor. So similar to the Wolfhound armor, you have, like, in this case you actually have 0 psi, and since a lot of these suits have been nerfed, the thermal, electrical, and chemical are probably around 1. In this thing I'm using as a reference, it shows higher values, but everything was nerfed around like 1 to like 0.7 or so. So it's like 1s. Physical of 3.4 at base, with upgrades get it higher. Base artifact slots of 2 is decent. You can buy it at Cement Factory. There's also a location, the Agricultural Workshop in Yantar. So Yantar is kind of far away, but you can venture out there. And I would say this is like a decent, respectable suit. I'm going to put this at low A tier. The lack of psi protection definitely kicks it down a bit, but its high physical defense is like obviously good. So I can't really say it. Like, you can get it for free and it has really high physical defense. The worst case scenario, you can just sell it for a lot of money. But obviously it's good armor. Now, if you know you're doing a region of the game that doesn't have psi like creatures in it or whatever, psi mutants, you can run this, you know, just for certain areas or whatever. You don't even have to upgrade it. 2 artifact slots with high physical defense. It could just be good filler armor as well, like high tier filler. And then for the Bulat, so this one also doesn't have psi protection, but very similar to these like armor suits like Wolfhound and so on. You just run this for the physical defense. The thermal, chemical, electrical are low. Radiation is decent. Artifact slots 4 though, and you can actually get it quite early in Chemical Plant. So I'm gonna actually put this in high A tier. It has really good high physical, really easy to acquire early. You just have to put in the very funny code of 0690 in an army base. But you can get its armor, I think, to above 4. And if you were at 4 armor, you're tanking. Like above 4 armor is like endgame. So you could run this in endgame, but it does have no psi protection, and it takes up the helmet slot as well. So I can't put it in S for that reason. The Barrel 5M armored suit. So this thing, 2 artifact slots. It has lower physical base of 3 compared to these others, which are like 3 point, or this one's 3, but it has like more to it. It's easier to get. It upgrades pretty easily. It has psi. But the Corundum's like 3.5. Some of these others are like 3.3, 3.2, and so on. It has really low thermal, electrical, and chemical protection. You can buy it from Victoria. You can buy it from Birch. I think it's buy only. From the looks of it, it's buy only. There's no like location for it. So for that reason, I have to put it in low D tier. The fact that you have to buy it and there's free options near where you buy it hurts it significantly. It's one of those things where if you don't know anything about the game, maybe it's okay, but you kind of have to, like, if you just explore a little bit in Stalker, you're just going to start finding armor suits, even if you have no idea where anything is. If you just keep exploring every time you go to a new area, you will find armor. If you'd like to support the channel, we do have a channel membership, which is just a subscription that gets you emotes for when I stream, and it also helps fund the channel itself. So if you want to do that, it's totally optional. I would appreciate it, but if not, liking the video and commenting also helps a lot. To wrap up, let's go over the exosuits and exoskeletons. So this is going to be pretty interesting, I would say. I'm gonna rate some of the non-sprinting ones maybe better than you would think. They're not going to D tier. I still think they're still viable. They're still relevant. All right, so first we have the Curious Exoskeleton. This cannot be upgraded with sprint, but it can be upgraded to the point where it has near max defense. You can get it early before Pripyat. So if they ever patch the Pripyat jumps and the ways to get into Pripyat early, this will be basically one of the few options you have for like max armor, but you can't sprint with it. You can upgrade it to the point where it weighs less. So it weighs, I think, around like 7 to 8 kilograms with 5 artifact slots and so on, with maxed out physical protection and like respectable psi protection of like 1 or so. You can also just sell it if you just want to grab it to sell. I would say this is like high B tier. It still is one of the few sources of max armor before Pripyat. So assuming that we don't do Pripyat jump or like farm for a compass or something like that to get these other sets at max like defense, this still is good. You can't sprint, but you could equip it before combat and then unequip it after. and then, you know, sprint outside, you know, wear like some junk armor that has like weight reducing artifacts on. It is a little bit cumbersome to do that, but you could do it and it would be fine. So it's not terrible. Bulwark can also not sprint. Interestingly though, I think it's either this or Curious, you can get the weight down very low. But this also has really good defensive stats. Unfortunate for the Bulwark though, it is in Pripyat. So I'm gonna put this in sell. It's a high sell tier, like you just sell it. There's no reason to run it, can't get sprint. Now for the DLC, I can't remember if the DLC can get sprint or not. I'm pretty sure it can. It is very late. It does have very high psi protection, really good physical, really good radiation, and thermal, chemical, electrical should be nerfed, as you'd expect. You do get it in Pripyat though, in a journalist stash, so it is DLC. I'm gonna put this in low S tier for now. If it sprints, it moves up. If it doesn't, it moves down. But for now, I'm pretty sure it can unlock sprint though. I think it was just the two that don't have it. For the straight up Exoskeleton, this you acquire pretty far into the main quest, and it does have notably very high psi protection. You do get this before Pripyat, so if you're not doing early Pripyat jump, or if you just don't want to get into Pripyat early out of principle, like for example, if you just think it breaks the balance of the game, this is the first exosuit you get outside of Curious that can sprint. You can upgrade it to get 5 artifact slots, significantly high physical defense, and it does have the highest, like really high psi protection. It has like one of the highest psi protection values of armor, so it does have some advantages to it. I'm gonna put it in the middle of S tier. I think that's fair. Maybe a little bit better than the mask. The big issue with the mask is that it doesn't have super relevant armor that can be run with it. That's also good. Like the X7 armor, unfortunately, is endgame only. So if the X7 armor was like in the game somewhere that you could get, then it'd be better, but unfortunately it's not. For the diamond exosuit or exoskeleton, I'm gonna put this in high S for now. I think this is one of the best sets in the game. It can hit max, like hits low weight, increase your carry capacity by a lot. You can get it before getting into Pripyat with the box jump, and the box jump is very easy to pull off. You just go find a box near the bunker and you just move it, like near Yaniv station. You just push the box, jump on a thing, get up there, grab your free set of armor. And it also is in Pripyat as well, so it's in 2 locations, funny enough. So you can get it twice and sell the second set. But it's good, it's really good. Low weight, huge carry capacity, really good defensive stats, really good, it maxes out physical. It has the highest carry weight increase in the game, as well as one of the lowest weights on any exoskeleton. So there is a difference between exoskeleton and exosuit. Exoskeletons weigh a fraction of what exosuits weigh, but their effects are similar. They tend to have like maxed out artifact slots easily with like 3 or 2 to 4 lead containers depending on the suit. And you also can get like near max or max physical protection, really good psi protection, and good defense overall for most of the things. Liberty, I would say, is pretty competitive with Diamond. However, it is only in Pripyat, but it's still like end game ready. I'm gonna put it high S, below Diamond. Diamond can be acquired early, which just makes it better. If you don't do early Pripyat jump, you can easily get the Diamond armor, whereas Liberty, you physically cannot get it unless you do the early Pripyat jump. But in terms of like competition, Diamond has more carry weight capacity, and I think it weighs a little bit less, so it has like better stats relative to the Liberty. The Brumbar, this is also another one that you can only get in Pripyat. This is actually in the White House location that I always do some of my weapon tests. So it's pretty easy to get, pretty accessible. Stats on it are good. It can get sprint. I would say it's comparable to the Liberty. The Ruby exosuit. So this gets you the 20% accuracy, which affects hipfire and ADS. It also improves the buckshot spread of every weapon that shoots buckshot, including the Holemaker. So if you do plan on running the Holemaker, you're going to want to run Liberty or Operator for the 20% tighter spread. And that does matter because that increases the effective headshot range of all shotguns. So if you're just running buckshot in general, these are the things you want to use. But the Ruby does weigh a little bit more, and it does have high durability though. So it gives you maximum weight of +2 or of +22.4, but it also weighs 20. And as you upgrade it, you can reduce its weight a little bit, but it's still quite good. I would still say it's like high S tier. Probably a little bit worse than the diamond. I would say it's better than these because these are basically just worse than the diamond. This at least offers something the diamond does not, which is 20% increased accuracy. All right, the operator exoskeleton. So exoskeleton meaning that it weighs less. So base weight of 9.5, whereas the ruby's base weight is 20. It doesn't give you as much carry capacity as the ruby, but the carry capacity is offset by the fact that the ruby is heavy. So it's really only giving you like +5 kilograms. So the operator still gives you essentially, it weighs less, you can reduce its weight. It's basically just better than the ruby. So I would say it's higher. I'm gonna argue that the operator is competitive with diamond outside of early availability, because it gives you something that the diamond does not give you, which is that 20% arm servos upgrade, and it also has the light weight of the exoskeleton while not giving you really a ton of carry capacity. It notably doesn't have psi protection though, which does kind of hurt it, whereas with the ruby you do get some psi protection, but it is basically better than the ruby in terms of like carry capacity. So you could argue that there's trade-offs between this and the ruby, and I would be fine with like, you know, maybe shifting these like this. Overall, diamond is like the best for just like carry weights, for it being lightweight, for accessibility, and the others have interesting things going on with them to some degree. Mostly the ruby and the operator with their 20% accuracy. What I would like to see is for the Liberty and the Brumbar to have more features. Like maybe there's some additional thing that they do, like how the operator and the ruby get 20% accuracy that gives them an edge over these other suits. Like maybe they do like 5 times knife damage or something stupid, so then you can run up to things and like one-shot them with a knife. That would be kind of cool actually. Or even just like reloading faster or something like that. You reload like 35% faster. That would be an interesting like upgrade or like reason to use them. I would like to see that. I would like to see that across all the armor. I would like there to be like pros and cons of using like full suits versus like the helmet plus base armor. I would like to see the base armors do a little bit more maybe. But overall, here's where I think the armor is at. If you agree or disagree with any of these, let me know why. If I got something wrong, definitely let me know in the comments. And that is it for this one. Thank you for checking this out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.